Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Talking Talent. My name is Andrew Thurman, and we're here every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. And this program is geared towards, career switchers, HR practitioners, those who are in the recruiting space, and just generally job seekers, those who are looking for advice or seeking career opportunities. We're so happy to have you. So please let us know if you are on LinkedIn, if you are on Facebook, if you are on Twitter, if you are on Instagram, wherever you are, just please let us know. Also, like and share this broadcast. Tonight, we have an exciting program lined up for you. So we really, really want you to be engaged and be involved. I see a viewer has just joined us. Welcome. Thank you so much. Please let us know where you are tuning in from. Again, this is Talking Talent, and we're here every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our lovely program, a program that is geared towards educating you. And tonight we have a professional in the space, one who will be sharing some advice with us tonight. Those professionals who are looking to maybe switch careers, maybe advance your career, maybe change a position, whatever the case may be. If you're looking for a coach, if you're looking for advice, then Alicia Gladys Knight is the person you need to talk to. Welcome to the program, Alicia.
Hi, thanks for having me, Andrew, and thanks to your audience for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure. Tonight, we will be talking about some tips as it relates to acing your career goals. We're going to be delving a little bit deeper into that. But first, can you tell us a little bit about you as a person, who you are, so that my viewers can trust you?
All right, thanks. So I'm Alicia Gladys Knight, and I'm the head honcho and the chief talent strategist at AGK Career Services. We like to describe ourselves as facilitators because we partner with our clients to help them to pivot, to grow, and succeed in their goals. And specifically based on the audience that I'll be sharing with this evening, I think you'll be interested in knowing what I'm passionate about. So I'm passionate about working with corporate professionals, helping them to create a career strategy that will pretty much put them on the pathway to having a fulfilling career. So that's it for me.
Awesome, awesome. We appreciate that. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, we will be answering them throughout the program. So please go ahead and type your questions in the chat so we can get those addressed. And tonight we are looking at 3 career strategy tips to ace your career goals. Again, awesome discussion. So, first of all, Alicia, when we're talking about career strategy and putting both of those words together for a corporate professional, what are we really talking about before we go into the actual tips tonight?
All right. So let me bring you back to organizations. Now, many successful organizations will tell you that each year they do their corporate strategy. So they do a strategic career planning session where they align around, their vision, they look at their goals, and they look at how they're going to meet the objectives, especially the return on investment that their shareholders would have required of them. So it's a similar approach where we're saying to you that because your career is so important, too important for it to be pushed to the sideline, it's important for you to approach it by first and foremost, looking at your vision, and it takes you straight through to having an execution plan. So you look at your vision, you look at your career goals, we do an assessment, and of course, we look at your strategic career choices, and then we create that implementation plan. So you're not leaving things to chance. When you have a clear strategy, a clear plan, it helps to ensure that at the end of the day, in the next 5 to 10 years, you would have achieved your vision.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. I think this is an important service, and a lot of, again, corporate professionals would absolutely benefit from such a needed service. Can
Yeah.
can you talk to us about the very first tip? What's the first tip that you'd like to share with us tonight to
Okay.
our listeners and viewers?
All right. So I'm going to do something a bit unorthodox. Just to know who we have in the audience, is it possible for persons to just indicate if they have one wish to pivot their career, how would they use that wish? So I'm giving you one wish to make a change in your career. What would that be?
One wish to make a change in your career, what would that be? And when you say change, you meaning moving from changing positions?
So great question. And you determine what that change is. It's your career, it's your life. So is it career advancement? Is it to pivot completely? Is it to grow within your own career? So you tell us, what it is that you'd
You
want to
define it.
see. And I'm seeing Caroline
Absolutely.
saying you want to be a better communicator. Thanks for sharing, Caroline. And Caroline is
Yes.
joining us
Oh,
from Facebook.
great. Thank you. For me, it would be to be more impactful and have
Mhm.
more influence, I suspect.
Okay. All right, great.
That would
All
be
right.
that for me.
Mhm. Okay. All right. So thanks for sharing. And so back to your question about the first tip.
Mhm.
And acing your career goals was by design, because A stands for articulate, C, clarify, and E, examine. So those are the three tips that we'll be sharing this evening. So let's start by looking at tip number one. So we talk about
Yes.
articulating your vision, articulating a clear vision. So that's where we start. And
Mhm.
oftentimes when we think about vision, especially when you're trying to visualize in your current situation, it usually seems so difficult. But I want you to work with me by thinking about an image, a vivid image that's aspirational, that gives meaning and purpose to your life. And so, usually, it's recommended that you do your vision for the next 5 to 10 years, ideally 10 years, but I know that some persons struggle with seeing that far off. So, I'm saying, thanks for sharing, Natalie. I'm saying the next 5 to 10 years. So think of your vision across that span. And as you think about your vision, though, there's a quick activity that I'm going to give you to do that will kind of help you to stitch it together. And I'm going to be quick about this. So imagine you're invited to the Oprah Winfrey Show, and you're invited to speak about your achievements, your journey. As you think about what you'll be sharing on that show, I want you to reflect on what you're known for. So you're
Mm.
going to pivot yourself into the future, right? And so you're not going to
Mhm.
think about the challenges you're experiencing now. So think about,
Mhm.
what you're known for. Are you an expert or an authority in a particular field? What do people generally approach you for? Services, that sort of a thing. The second thing I want you to answer as you're preparing for this meeting with Oprah, think about three major accomplishments that you have had under your belt. And this may include recognition, accolades, awards, and so forth. And the third point is, what impact would you have made on your community your industry, and the world at large. And here you want to consider some quantifiable results. It may be saving your company money, maybe improving a process, it may be developing a new system. So these are three buckets that I usually encourage persons to think about as they try to visualize into the future. And
Mhm.
ideally, if we're in a face-to-face session, I would recommend that you close your eyes and we go into that moment. But that's something you still can do even after today's session.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. I see Natalie saying more influence and authority, and Nadia Crosskill saying that she would want to have my organization being rated the best in my field. And Caroline King coming again. I am known for being a good public speaker. I have won several speech contests for
Woo.
Toastmasters.
Great.
Um, Great. So when we're talking about having a coach, and when we're talking about acing your goals, it is really a deliberate approach that um, these professionals must undertake, so to speak, right?
Right, exactly. And we understand that, there are times persons will tell us as professional coaches that, I have Google, I have my friends, I have my HR friends who can guide me. But I'll tell you, it's not the same. When you have, a professional by your side walking with you, giving you that feedback, giving you tips, strategies, and just helping to clarify what it is, help you to clarify what it is that you're trying to articulate. And sometimes you struggle with articulating. I think it
Absolutely.
makes your life easier and it saves a lot of time, if you ask me.
That is true. But Alicia, outside of articulating your career, what you want and you put it down on paper,
Mhm.
um, what are some other challenges that really prevent people from really achieving their goals, their career goals, that is, because I've been in organization and I've seen a lot of people,
Mhm.
they want to be the next manager or they want to move into the C-suite, but they are just being prevented.
Mhm.
And I know that there are some issues, and
Mhm.
challenges, but what are the major challenges that you've come across that
Mhm.
prevents people from achieving?
All right. So, three major challenges are top of mind. One is that they're unclear about their vision, they're unclear about where they want to be. They
Mm,
have some idea, but they haven't fully wrapped their heads around it. And so that's the first one. The second one is that the only thing they have in their career toolkit is a resume,
yeah,
and those
yeah,
days are beyond us. And so you need
absolutely.
much more than that. And the
Mhm,
third point is that they lack a plan, a comprehensive plan that helps
mhm,
them to approach their dream career from the standpoint of looking at, their capabilities. What
okay,
capabilities, if any, do they need to be closed? Do they need to be building, or if there are gaps, do they need to be closing? What about their personal brand? What sort of reputation do they have out there? And how are they
absolutely.
nurturing those relationships, whether within their organizations or external to their organizations?
Mhm.
So those are three things that are top of mind in terms of the challenges that persons face.
Great, absolutely. I see Caroline is coming back and saying that she thinks that favoritism in an organization is an issue. For somebody who, you know, perceive that favoritism in the organization is preventing them from achieving their career goals. And we're going back to the other tips in a few. How
Mhm.
would you suggest somebody navigate favoritism or such the like?
All right. So the first thing I like to say is that favoritism is usually a subjective interpretation. So my response
Yeah,
to that
yeah, yeah.
would be, what do you mean by favoritism? What have you experienced? What have you seen?
Mhm.
And then, from there you can distill it to see what is really happening. Because as it is, favoritism may just be a story, so to speak, Caroline. You understand?
Yes,
It may not be
yes,
so.
yes,
So we want to separate
yes,
stories from fiction, and then we want to distill that. And if there is a real issue, then we can now determine how are you going to address that. Does the organization has policies in place which allows for those to be addressed, or can you somehow navigate your way around those issues? Because the truth is, biases are real and they show up
yes,
in so many different ways. But we know that's another topic completely.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. And you are so correct, Alicia. And you've made mention about reputation. You
Mhm.
know, reputation is really, really an important factor when we're talking about achieving our career goals. You know,
Yeah.
you might be the brightest in the room, or maybe not the brightest, but you're brilliant. You're excelling in
Mhm.
terms of achieving your KPIs,
Yeah.
but you never get promoted
Mhm.
because of the perception.
Yep.
You know, and how they perceive you. That's so important.
Mhm. Yeah.
Share your next tip, please. What's the other tip that you have?
Okay, so the second tip, so we started with articulating a clear vision. So the second tip is really around clarifying your goal. And
Hmm.
we usually start with the end in mind. And by end, we're talking about your vision. So here we're stepping back, we're working backwards. And so I would like you to see your goal plan as that runway to your vision. You
Hmm.
with me? So that's how I want you to view it. And so it should take you from your current position to where you want to be in the future.
Hmm.
And certainly, you want it to be around some key elements. So, for example, when I'm looking at career goal plans, there are a few areas that I look at, and I'll quickly share three, four of those areas with you. The first one is compensation. What's your desired
Hmm.
compensation? And again, remember, we're looking within the context of your vision. So the next 5 to 10 years, what's your desired compensation? And and as you think about that, you also want to reflect on where you are now. So if you're currently earning $2 million and in the next 10 years you want to earn $10 million, then it gives you a clear view on the gap you need to close.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
second thing I want you to consider as it relates to career goal is what managerial scope do you want to have? Do you want to be an individual contributor? Do you want to be leading teams? Do you want to be head of a department, head of a company? And of course, with those different roles, you may want to consider your decision making authority. Do you want to be approving budgets, approving spend? So you can determine the managerial scope that you have. The third area is level of influence. What difference do you want to be making within your organization at the individual level and certainly at the macro level? And the final area is your job satisfaction. What level of job satisfaction do you want to be having, within your career? And again, we encourage you to look at what is desired in terms of the next 5 to 10 years out, and also look at where you are now, and then you identify the gap. So what that does, it gives you an idea of what the gap looks like and what you need to be working on. In addition to that, it's important to note you would have recognized that while for vision, we talked about the next 5 to 10 years. For the goal plan,
Yeah,
we're looking at 3 years. So we're bringing it closer to home, making it manageable, making it reachable. And
yeah,
so, what the expectation is pretty much at the end of each year, you're updating your goal plan. So,
yeah.
it's a document in progress.
Mhm. Yes. My next question then, because this career coaches and job search coaches and mentor, well, not necessarily mentors, but
Mhm.
executive coaches, they're very, very well known in America, very, very
Mhm.
well known in the United Kingdom. Um, but here in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean, we're not so easily given um, to these services. We tend to show up differently. Um, what are your thoughts surrounding that? I see people are commenting.
Okay.
Um, if they were to, if you were to convince somebody to use a career coach or strategist, what would you say to them? No, and then I have another question for
All right. So, the first thing I'd like to say is when I'm working with folks, I want them to want what they want. That's important for
you.
me. So I am not a magician. You still have to do the work, but there has to be a desire, a passion for what you want. And I mean, don't worry about smoothing the edges or anything like that. But my expectation is that person should be in the position where they know that they are ambitious, they want more than where than what they currently have, and they
Yes.
want help with getting there. So that is first and foremost. There are some other pre-qualifying questions that we usually engage or prospect in to ensure that, one,
Absolutely.
they're clear on what the process is and the level of commitment required, and two,
Hmm.
that they are and that we're a good fit. So what I mean by
Absolutely.
that, I don't take it for granted that everyone will be able to work with me. Neither will
Yeah.
I want to work with everyone. And so that fit alignment is critical to the process. And that's something I also share with my corporate clients
Mhm.
as well, because
Absolutely.
it's important.
Absolutely. Here is Nadia asking, what is your thought, or your thought on your attitude determines your altitude? She wants to get your opinion on that.
All right. So I mean, it is correct. Your frame of mind when you approach persons or situation. But I know that oftentimes people need to break that down into what
Mhm.
that looks like. Because if I were to say to you that your attitude determines your altitude, somebody may ask, what does that mean? What do I need to do? How do I move from where I am? You know?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
you'd still need to unpack that, and what I think in principle, I agree with it. But you'd still need
Hmm.
to unpack that by looking at, okay, what's the approach? What do you need to be doing to ensure that you are you are journeying up?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been tuned into Talking Talent. It happens here every Wednesday on all major social media platforms such as LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. At 6:30. And we have been joined by Alicia Gladys Knight, who is a CEO and also a career strategist. And we're talking about strategies to acing your career goals. And this segment has been sponsored by Jonigay Corley and Associates, and we're so happy that Joni Gay Corley has sponsored this segment. So let's take a 30 seconds break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Joni Gay Cawley, HR consultant, providing HR solutions for SMEs, recruitment, performance management, customized training. Call 876-832-6330 or visit our website at www.smesolutions.expert.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I see some comments coming in, so let's go ahead and check them out. I think this one is from Gladys. Gladys is making uh, some comments here. Let's have a look at this one. Here we go. The first time I learned about coaching, okay, she's just referring to um, the first time she's heard about coaching and the cost. So we'll move on. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Caroline, thank you so much for showing up tonight, especially from Antigua. We really, really appreciate you showing up tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, surrounding this topic tonight. You know, you might be struggling with moving to the next level in your career. You need some help. You need to put some plans and something structured in place. Then this is what we're talking about tonight. And you need to be talking to Alicia to help you do that. So we've looked at two tips, Alicia. What's the third tip that you have for us tonight?
And so the third tip, which is E, remember we're spelling
Yes,
A-C-E.
yes, yes,
All right, so the third
yes.
tip is examine. So this is where we encourage you to start examining your strengths and your opportunities, your areas of opportunities, otherwise called weaknesses. So this will help you to pretty much define what are your enablers, what are your hindrances. As you dig deeper into these two areas, let's separate them for a minute. So in looking at your strengths, you want to ask yourself this question: what are you good at? And what do people say you're good at? And the idea here is for you to look to see how you can leverage your strengths to achieve your career goals. And then you want to capitalize on this. So that's the action step. The second area is is where you'll be looking at your areas of opportunities, or as we call them, weaknesses. So what feedback have you gotten about what you need to improve on, and what do you know in your heart of heart that you need to be improving on? And this will help you to identify where you may have gaps. And so one of the action step from this is how to fix those gaps. And at the end of the day, you may be wondering, where do I get this information? I mean, yeah, I may have some idea, but where do I get additional information? So some
Yes.
sources you can look at include your performance review. Always save them, save a copy. They'll come in handy.
Okay.
Your
Yeah.
performance review, your resume, if you have done any 360 degrees assessment or any form of assessment, you'll find this quite helpful. If you have received any commendation, any awards, always try and get a copy of those documentations and ensure you have them in your portfolio, because you'll find that they'll be helpful for this exercise in addition to when you're preparing your resume.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I agree. While we're talking, this idea or this thought just pumped in my head about how would you approach, somebody who has come to you for help, and after examining and looking at, who they are, where they are, qualifications, everything, and where they want to go, it is a stretch, so to speak. And I can make it a bit more practical. I'm the middle manager in an organization, but I want to become the general manager within 6 months. But I lack certain critical components or experience or skill set or whatever the case may be. How do you approach that conversation with somebody who is so enthused and consumed by the idea of just getting this particular?
Okay. So great question. The first thing though, if I were, engaging with someone who would be interested in my services, then I would have that information up front. And based on the process, they would have already recognized that they'll have some work to do.
Okay.
So that's number one. If someone stops me on the road and says to me that I want to get here and I'm here, then it would require a little bit more thoughtful conversation. And I'll certainly be asking some probing questions, because the idea is for them to recognize on their own. And that is what, coaching is about. I'm not giving you the answers. The answers are within you. I'm not fixing you, You're already a whole being. but it's through those, through questioning and that sort of engagement that you recognize that, boy, I have some work to do, and it's a whole lot of work as well. But I like the idea when people want to dream big, because that's important. If you're not dreaming, if you can't see the possibilities out there, then it's going to be difficult for you to take that runway and, chart that path towards that sort of career.
Absolutely. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you are looking to ace your career goals, if you need help, if you need guidance, if you need assistance, Alicia Gladys Knight is the person you need to be talking to. She shared just a while ago 3 tips to acing your career goals, and you've got to be a part of this. Well, I wouldn't say movement, but I mean, if you are looking to advance and if you want to develop your own self, it's important that you get in touch with her. My final question, and then I have you share your thoughts as well,
Mhm.
Gladys, is the idea, and it's going back to reputation,
Mhm.
is the idea of executive presence or charisma.
Mhm.
There are times when you have the most brilliant of minds,
Mhm.
and those who can get the job done, but how they carry themselves in a certain space,
Mhm.
um, with with the C-suite or the senior executive, really comes back to bite them, so to speak.
Mhm.
And so I find that executive charisma is important. If you were to
Mhm.
give an advice or a tip
Mhm.
about executive charisma and just having that presence in the workplace so that people can trust you and respect you, and look to you for solutions, what would you say that tip would
I would have to say that you don't know what you don't know. And so don't be happy that you're not getting any feedback.
be?
So you may want to try and start getting some feedback, and humbly ask for that feedback so people can be honest with you about what they're seeing, what they're experiencing with you. So that's the first thing I would say. That's the first place I would encourage someone to start before looking at what action to take, because you don't know what you don't know. And then certainly from there you can unpack, because executive presence is something that nobody walks around and say, oh, I'm looking for executive presence. But it's one of those things that when you don't have it, then it becomes abundantly clear that you don't have it.
Yes, yes,
How you speak,
absolutely,
how you carry yourself, how you think, how you articulate. So it's a whole 9 yards.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Great. I see Caroline is coming again, and she's asking if you assist entrepreneurs or assist in taking the business to the next level.
Great question. Not yet. I've been asked that question before, and I've been challenged. Why not? But I'm documenting my processes now. So I think in another year or so, I'll be able to offer that service.
Okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. But Caroline, I think you should still reach out to Alicia.
Of course, we can talk.
Yes, yes. And Caroline is saying that executive presence can be deemed as offensive, as if you want to take someone's job away. Interesting, interesting, interesting thought right there,
Mhm.
Alicia. Um, so Alicia, please go ahead and share your contact information. I see that they're asking if you are
Mhm.
on LinkedIn.
Right. So I am on LinkedIn, Alicia Knight. My address is hi Alicia HIALICIA. I'm also on Instagram where I try to share daily tips. And I also have a website, agkcareerservices.com.
Awesome, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an interesting conversation with Alicia. Again, it will be on YouTube, it will be on LinkedIn, and it will be on Facebook, so you can rewatch it. Please share it so that those within your organization, those who you're trying to develop, can see this information. And it's also important because Caroline raised an important point. If she is an entrepreneur and she's looking to develop her staff, to get them to the next level, I'm pretty sure that that can be looked at from that level as well, right, Alicia?
Yeah. Right. And on that note, let me just quickly add the comment that after you've looked at your goals, your career goals, one of the questions you may find you may have to ask yourself is, do I really want to be an employee or an entrepreneur or an independent consultant? So
Yeah.
that's something that's a part of the strategic career choices that you'll have to make at some point in your journey.
Absolutely. Can you confirm if that's your correct website?
Yes, it is. www.agkcareerservices.com. Yes, it's
Great.
correct.
Great, great. That is the website. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for having joined us tonight. I see Nikisha, everybody saying thank you, excellent points. We really appreciate you coming in tonight and tuning in. Again, if you have any other questions, go ahead, Alicia.
All right. Right before you wrap up, though, I have a free gift for your audience, and
Oh,
it's a
awesome.
30-day job search planner. I sent it to you, so I'm hoping that you'll be able to put it on the platform. It's available. It will be available for the next 24 hours. So it's
Oh,
a
you sent it to me?
30-day. Sorry, I sent you the link. Right.
Okay, I'll look for it.
Right. Thanks. So it's a 30-day job search planner, which allows you to identify your monthly goals. You are able to break it down into weekly goals, daily plan of action, and so at the end of the day, you can plan out your job search activities. There are also some job search suggestions, ideas that are included that will keep you on track.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I will be sharing the link with the viewers. So please share your final thoughts with us, Alicia. And I'm going to see if I can find that link so that I can put it in the comments so that all those who have joined us tonight can use that. Go ahead.
Right. So acing your career goals, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And you'll find that it's constantly changing as you get to know yourself a little bit better, as you get to understand yourself and your talents and your passions. So give yourself grace if you're struggling and unsure of the next step to take. I find that sometimes people think more is great. So you're struggling and you try to do more. Sometimes all you need to do is to press the pause button, reset, and then get back at it. But just know that, if you can dream it, then you'll achieve it with the right help, with the right support.
Awesome, awesome,
Okay,
awesome, awesome.
great.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I've just shared with you in the chat the link to the job search planner. You can please go ahead and click that link and make sure that you fill it out. All right. So we really want to thank Alicia for joining us tonight. It has been a really enlightening and informative discussion, one that I will take at heart as well. Though I'm an entrepreneur at heart, you can never stop learning.
Of course.
So thank you so much. And I see Caroline saying thank you. Thank you, Caroline. We really appreciate you being here tonight. So
Thank
once
you.
again, Alicia, thank you so much for joining us and have a great, great rest of the evening.
Thank you. Same to you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Caroline, talking to us about acing your career goals. And what an informative discussion it has been. We really appreciate you joining us. You can catch us here next week, Wednesday at 6:30, where we will have Juma Bannister out of Trinidad and Tobago and Daniel Tate from Jamaica. And they will be talking about optimizing your LinkedIn profile for job search, right? So definitely join us there. Here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook next week, Wednesday, where we will talk about, your LinkedIn profile. It is, in fact, a very, very important part of your job search strategy. Again, this program has been brought to you by Joni Gay Cawley and Talking Talent.
Joni Gay Cawley, HR consultant, providing HR solutions for SMEs, recruitment, performance management, customized training. Call 876-832-6330 or visit our website at www.smesolutions.expert.
Struggling to find the right candidate? Need to streamline your recruitment process with a simple and user-friendly platform? Introducing Career JA, Jamaica's newest and most cost-effective way to hire fast and hire smart. As an employer, you can advertise your jobs, schedule and track interviews, chat with job seekers to build your employee brand, remove the recruitment hassle, and focus on your core business duties by using Career JA today. Career JA, connection made easy.
Well, once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you. And again, catch you next week, Wednesday, same time, same place.